you've got a chance of getting your AI assistant to explain, oh, the reason we charge for this is because it's gold-plated or whatever, right? So number one, regardless of search engine optimization, regardless of anything else, it is a valuable AI assistant, should be on everyone's website, because as I said before, at the moment, there's pushback. There's pushback from people not wanting to ask questions, not wanting to use it. That's fine. But what's going to happen very, very quickly is all the major players, as I said, are introducing voice. This is the way that you'll interact. It's an agentic web we're going into. So we'll go back to this. He touches on a bit more now.
And I think that's the big point I'm trying to lead with here. And eventually, our take is that we will enter a zero-click future, and the consumer will only interact with the answer engine. And it's so hard to stay up to speed because obviously since I sent Mike my slides, there's now been the ChatGPT integration with Shopify, and that's becoming clearer and clearer as we go. Every week this becomes clearer, this thesis. And agents will be the only visitors of websites, or the primary visitors of websites is what we're saying.
Absolutely.
And I think Karpathy, who's one of the godfathers of OpenAI and from Tesla, he's got this fantastic line, which you probably all saw doing the rounds on Twitter or LinkedIn, where he says, 99.9% of attention is about to be LLM attention. And for what it's worth, I think we're using LLM attention liberally here. We say answer engines instead of LLMs because I think when you're talking about just the pre-trained LLM, I think that's very different to the actual end product of ChatGPT, which now has system prompts, memory, personalization, a ton of retrieval. Through Profound, our platform, we're seeing like sometimes 70, 80, 90% of commercial search will return via what is being referred to as grounding, or what we would say is web retrieval. So
again, agents. You need to create your message needs to be ready for agents. Conversation is what agents are trained on. Conversation is what agents are looking for. People talking about your product. That will get attention of the LLMs, which means it will come back as part of the Google response, okay? That doesn't mean that people are going to click on the referral link, but you'll certainly be referred. So, for example, if you take some of the golf courses that I've done, if someone asks a question about a particular golf course, that will come up in a Google search as a normal search page because it's there, but it will also be mentioned in the AI summary of what's going on there with references to where that was from. Now, again, I do agree. I don't think everyone is going to start clicking on reference links. They'll certainly start clicking on, I book here links and things like that. That probably won't change so much. But as we said, that's a very short-lived thing. There's going to be a very rapid changeover between the agentic web and we just ask our AI assistant to do something. So we'll go back and have a bit more of a listen here.
Now think this is just framing this concept of agent experience. We're all very familiar with this concept of UX, the overall experience of a person using and enjoying a website. This is a discipline in its own matter. But what if people aren't using websites anymore? Operator from OpenAI, which is what this screen shows, I should have put a label on that, but that's operator from OpenAI, will browse on our behalf. And I think, I've got friends who work at the big models, and the stuff that those guys are cooking behind the scenes that's just around the corner is where our heads are at right now. Operator, computer use from Anthropic, this is here, it's happening, period. So agent experience is the intentional design of a digital environment to ensure that your content, your brand, your products are legible and actionable, and they can be interfaced with via an agent. And I'm using agent maybe a little bit liberally here. That could just be that could be a retrieval agent for all intensive purposes, ChatGPT user agent, as we're all familiar with.
This is interesting.
SEO, to sort of go there, this is it. This is the two slides that articulate what I'm saying. If SEO is the art of ensuring that your stall was well placed in this marketplace for the end user, AX is just straight up understanding that you have an entirely new customer. You have one VIP customer now.
Absolutely.
Which is an agent. And agents are going to become first-class citizens of the internet. Marketers, every brand on the planet is going to need to learn how to understand. They're going to have to connect with consumers via agents. That's, again, it's all very wide aperture. AX experts, maybe that's not the term that sticks, but this new discipline is the idea of rethinking brand, product, and content for the new end user. And I think, Mike, that's some of the stuff that we've spoken about. It's like rethinking this discipline.
Okay, so that is the points covered. That is the latest SEO. James did a fantastic job at summarising what his company is doing. This backs up exactly what is very, very obvious to the way things are heading, and this is what motivated me to create a really simple application that small businesses can use to jump on board to compete with the big businesses. I have already shown in some previous videos now that you can create movie quality commercials for your business. And what we'll do is I'll show you now a real life study. We'll refer back to Sutherland Sally, which is one of the AI assistants that we set up for Sutherland, and I will step you through and I will show you how it fits in today's Google rankings and how it will go into the future. So we will have a look at that now. Yeah, so down here on Sutherland Sally, which is the AI assistant for the Sutherland Shire, has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages that have been created automatically. So we'll do a bit of exploring of this. So like all good AI assistants, let's just ask it a question. Again, like I said, it's not about now people typing in, you know, I don't know, pizza, granola, whatever. People are more likely to ask questions like, hey, I'm minding my nephew and he loves pizza. Could you give me a good pizza place that I can take him to? All right, so that's the sort of question that people are going to basically ask now. It's not about, you know, one word, keywords. It is all about conversational context. And the answer that will come out in this will also then be published to a page. Okay, sure. Here are some great pizza places in Sutherland Shire. Okay, Pizza Hut, well, everyone knows about that. Domino's, okay, yeah, well, that's pretty ordinary. Crust Gourmet Pizza Bar, that sounds pretty good. Funky Pies and Pizza. Maybe Funky Pies, the Hub Pizzeria. Enjoy your pizza. Okay, well, let me just pluck one out. Say Crust Gourmet Pizza. How do I get to Crust Gourmet Pizza? Now, I'll notice that see, I've got cross, so it's actually even worked out. The AI's worked out. Oh, there it is there. Okay. I'm near Sutherland Railway Station. I'd like to go there. Can you give me directions? Now, again, Google Maps is probably the go-to that most people are going to use, but it doesn't matter.